Tonight on News 5 Live, a deep dive into the weekend's state of unabated violence. Is crime in Belize being politicized? The Standard Bearers Convention for the UDP is set for early February, but party leader Shine Barrow says John Soldiver has to go too. And an 8-year-old boy drowns in Roaring Creek. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint is one of the most reputable paints in the industry, known for its superior quality, durability, and environmentally friendly technology. We carry a large variety of products for all your home and commercial needs, such as interior and exterior paints, primers, wood stains, sealers, clear top coats, caulking, aerosols, concrete, and masonry products. Achieve professional-looking results with ease using Sherwin-Williams paint and coating. Available at Design Depot, all in one place.
Join us for an engaging and inspiring service from Sagebrush Church that the whole family will love. Each week, you will have the opportunity to take part in amazing worship and learn how you can make your personal relationship with God a priority. Watch us on TV, stream us online, or visit us in person at one of our 8 physical locations. Go to sagebrush.church or download the Sagebrush app to find locations and times to watch.
In 2018, before I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was at the size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days, and after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and you have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. You will take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, It means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, January 4th. I am Sabrina Daly. The unabated murders reported across the country over the holiday weekend have resulted in both political parties pointing the finger at each other. While the Bersenu administration is responsible for the safety and well-being of all Belizeans and visitors alike, the crime situation remains a perennial issue. Tonight, we begin by looking at the violence that plagued the New Year's weekend from a political perspective. The Minister of Home Affairs, as well as the leader of the opposition, weighed in on the chronic issue of corruption within the Belize Police Department and what can and is being done to purge law enforcement of rogue officers. News 5's Isani Catano reports.
The ceaseless and intense spate of gun violence that took hold of the citizenry over the New Year's weekend has left in its wake numerous questions. The safety of the general public is once again being called into question as the Belize Police Department reels from the alleged involvement of one of its own in arguably the most unsympathetic act of violence to be exacted upon an unsuspecting family. The murders of American national Jabria Bowens, brothers John and David Ramnares, Lionel Budna, Hilberto Martinez, and Michael Williams, all under different circumstances within a span of 4 days, are serious cause for concern.
The opposition has been criticizing the government, rightfully so, about citizen security for quite some time. Not that we want the government to fail in this regard, because all of us have become victims when the government fails. My issue is the government's, and in particular the Minister of Police and his commissioner, the refusal to accept criticism and to accept their weaknesses and their failures.
It is often easy to criticize the efforts and shortcomings of a ruling party when in opposition. It is equally difficult to accept counsel from an opposition that has had 3 consecutive terms in office, ample time that could have been used to meaningfully address the scourge of crime and violence that continues to affect Belizeans.
I find that it is all about opportunism for the opposition, because if you would recall, we had actually engaged with them when it was that we went to Colby Foundation, I believe in early 2021. I invited the leader of the opposition to come. And it all starts off wonderful, you know. The cooperation is great. But the moment something goes wrong, they are quick to jump at you and criticize you instead of offering solutions. And so they had 13 years in government. And you need to look at those statistics and see if that's who I need to lean on as advice, because their statistics are far worse than what we had for 2022.
Notwithstanding the blame game immediately following an unchecked series of violent occurrences, such as the string of murders witnessed this past weekend, the reality is that the Ministry of Home Affairs is responsible for ensuring the safety of all Belizeans and visitors. In the same way, it is also tasked with making sure that bad actors within the ranks of law enforcement are dealt with accordingly.
Kindly reflect and think if it were John Saldiva or Michael Perifit sitting in this seat, whether Elmer Na, after being found innocent in his tribunal, would he not have been reinstated? Ask yourself whether an assistant commissioner of police, Vidal, would he still be in his seat today? I think that what we inherited is not the best thing ever, but we have, like the commissioner said, good officers, and we will make do with what we have, and at the same time go through the process of ridding ourselves, of cleansing ourselves of the types of officers that have eroded confidence in the public for so many years. This is not the UDP.
Indeed, it isn't, for better or worse. What is certain is that there are rogue officers in the police department, and many of those bad actors remain, despite the change in political tides.
I am courageous and bold enough to applaud the police department for the swift action taken to apprehend the culprits, both in the San Pedro murder and the Belmopan murder. We applaud that in the opposition. However, the commissioner and the minister have to accept that there is endemic corruption within the police department.
When asked by a fellow reporter whether the police department enables or creates a breeding ground for rogue cops, the response given by the Commissioner of Police leaves a lot to be desired.
I don't know, Mr. Vasquez, when are you going to drop that stupid narrative? You constantly conceive things in your head for your own benefit. You have good reporters, right? Correct?
Yes, sir. The best.
If one of your reporters were to go and do something out there that you don't sanction, should you be held accountable for it? Yes, sir. Yes, you should be?
Yes, sir.
You're sure that's the answer you want to give?
Yes, sir.
So have you not had people who work with you that you have eventually become disappointed in or been around you?
That's the nature of everything.
Exactly. So what's the issue, Jules? You constantly try to... Hold on, let me answer you, man. You consistently try to push a narrative just to try to make the police department look bad.
That reply is also being met with strong criticism from the United Democratic Party.
I was taken aback by the audacious, dismissive response of the commissioner that tried to downplay the systematic problem that produces a domestic terrorist like Corporal Na. And this is what the opposition is demanding, that the government, the Minister of Police, the Compol, put in place stricter, if there are policies, if there are watch guards, if there are oversight mechanisms to stop the Elmanas before they wreak havoc on this and destruction on our society.
So what is the opposition's strategy for resolving such a difficulty? That's what I asked the leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, earlier today.
What would you propose to be a workable solution here? Because oftentimes it is easy for the opposition to try and criticize the party in power. But in terms of finding something that actually works, what would your party have to offer?
Endemic corruption within the police. It starts there. We can't say that Corporal Na is an isolated case. Yes, there are many police officers that are outstanding that are heroic. No doubt about that. I work with the police closely. So this is not a condemnation of the entire police department, but there is a cancer within the department, and so it starts there. Because how do you get the guns off the street? How do you get the bad man off the street? When the police is the bad man, in the case of Elmer, he's worse than any bad man I could think of.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
What is a just punishment for the perpetrator of the Ramnarace brothers' murders? Numerous Belizeans are calling on authorities to invoke the death penalty in this instance. The deadly attack was caught on John Ramnarace's home surveillance camera. That video has since been leaked to the public and has gone viral on social media, garnering reactions from thousands of Belizeans. The shocking footage has led to a call for the killer to be sentenced to death upon conviction. News 5's Paul Lopez takes a closer look.
The nation continues to reel from the ruthless murders of brothers John and David Ramnarace on New Year's Eve in Belmopan. The question of just punishment, in light of such a callous act of violence, is once again at the center of public discourse. The death penalty is also at the heart of that discussion. We put the question to Belmopan Mayor Sharon Palacio and Pastor Richard Smith earlier today.
My mind is on there has to be justice for this family, the families, because such an act, and as you rightly said, I mean, everybody, we saw the video, and you can see that whosoever that person is an expert. That person is highly trained. And such a person needs to be punished, the full brunt of the law. Whatever is in there, that person needs to get maximum punishment.
Truth be told, we cannot exempt from death sentence. I think it's a hard question you're asking, because when you see the traumatized, well, that little kid traumatized for the rest of her life. To see my mom got shot in front of my very own eyes. The damage that done to this poor lady that have to go through so much surgery, the amount of money being spent, money you don't have. Paul, this man, as I look at this situation, shot all two and went into the house and came back and shot this individual who probably already died, dead already, and to shoot extra, there's no mercy, there's no remorse over the whole situation. And I think our judicial system is too light, because if this guy has enough money, he'll get away, walk away. The Bible says the soul that sin shall surely die. So if the man killed, hang the man.
The Commissioner of Police agrees that the killer dispatched the siblings without a second thought. The shooter demonstrated experience in the handling of a firearm and apparent technical training, characteristics that have led the Commissioner to believe that the murderer was an expert.
Clearly, this is my opinion. The shooter have a wealth of experience in handling a firearm. The way he maneuvered the firearm and maneuvered himself shows that he is well trained. And like you rightly said, he had a specific intent to kill. Even after he had shot the victims outside, he went in, came out back and I don't want to go too graphic, but what he did when he came back outside showed the clear intent to kill.
Is that the first time that suspect, the person seen in that video, has killed? Or is that a professional killer at work?
I cannot say that. I can't say if he have killed before. Certainly I would agree that the manner in which he did it is outrageous and demonstrates some level of experience or expertise in the handling of firearm. But I cannot go to the extent of saying that he have killed before. I cannot say.
Wouldn't you also say some remorselessness?
Yes, certainly.
So what we saw in that video is someone who apparently is trained to kill.
Perhaps, but not trained by us.
Belize does not have a mandatory death penalty in its laws. Therefore, capital punishment must be invoked in specific instances at the start of a trial process. In this instance, the prosecution must determine whether the crime warrants such a response. Attorney Arthur Saldivar gave us further insight.
Looking at it, those young men didn't have a fighting chance. That was murder in cold blood. Now, the police have arrested a suspect, charged a suspect, and are gathering evidence to marshal a prosecution of that suspect. But until such time as the evidence is brought before the court, that's all that person is, a suspect with an allegation and the constitutional presumption of innocence. But I will say this in respect of that. Where we have a situation such as this, where we are able to see the calculation that has gone into, the planning that has gone into, the execution of that act, it would be incumbent then on the DPP's office, and I use the office because certainly the DPP in this particular situation has her hands shackled, but the office would have to initially, at the initial stage of the prosecution, request that the death penalty be placed as an option upon successful prosecution. It has to come at the start of the process. The only reason why this conversation is not premature in this context is because it is required at the start of the process. One has to contemplate whether or not the crime that has been committed would warrant this kind of reaction from the onset. But outside of that, the most important thing, apart from applying for that penalty, is the gathering of the evidence, the marshalling of the evidence. And here we have it, that the track record of our police department in investigating one of its own has not been stellar.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Investigators in the murder of John and David Ramnareis have yet to locate the murder weapon, according to Compol Williams. On Tuesday, he told reporters that the suspect's firearm license was revoked back in 2021 when he was arrested and charged in connection with a drug plane landing. Expended shells found on the scene have been sent to the National Forensics Lab for testing.
We have not been able to locate the firearm. We're doing what we can to do so. And I can tell you he do not have a license for a firearm because after the plane incident, I revoked the license for every one of them who were involved or who were allegedly involved. And we have found a number of expended shells at the scene. Those shells will be sent to the National Forensic Lab, and the lab will be able to tell us if the weapon used is a police-issued firearm or not. We don't believe it is police-issued. Nonetheless, we will await the findings of the National Forensic Service.
Compol Williams was also asked about witness protection for the surviving victims of the double murder. As we reported, John's wife, their child, and David's common-law wife all survived the attack. Their families remain concerned for their safety.
There have been calls for the surviving victims to be given witness protection, and I know that's always been a challenge here. What can be offered?
We certainly, and I discussed just prior to coming here with the minister, we are in dialogue with Trinidad for an exchange witness protection program. So it is something that we can throw to the family if they would be willing to relocate to another area. It doesn't have to be Trinidad. We also talk with the U.S. Embassy to see if they can provide something for us. But we will do whatever is necessary to ensure the safety of the victims, the surviving victims.
Paul Williams also confirmed that the murder of Michael Williams on Thursday, December 29th, is connected to the New Year's Eve murder. Police believes that the same shooter carried out both acts. Coming up, Paul Williams says the warring factions in San Pedro is over drugs. Find out the details when we come back.
The Social Security Board is proud to have served Belizeans in 2022.
Belize faced challenges such as the continuing COVID-19 pandemic and Hurricane Lisa. Our country's resilience and ability to persevere in adversity is the prevailing and unifying theme. Of our many organizational accomplishments in 2022, we are particularly proud of our commitment to impact the lives of Belizean citizens positively and continuously under our corporate social responsibility portfolio. As a responsible corporate citizen, SSB supported various societal partners to amplify progress in many communities and provided empowerment opportunities through scholarships, sports, education, and health. SSB recognizes that for societal change to abound, we must continue our integral efforts to drive change and contribute to causes in meaningful and impactful ways. Our community engagements will forever serve as the most meaningful moments for 2022. 2023 will be another transformational year for SSB. It will be a year of enhanced community engagement and outreach, and the rollout of additional service enhancements via the My Social Security self-service portal. We stand ready to continue our service to you. From the Board of Directors, management, and staff of the Social Security Board, we wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
As we reported on Tuesday, 24-year-old Delson Paguada and 33-year-old Lucio Salazar have been jointly charged with the murder of American national Jabria Bowens, who was fatally injured in San Pedro on December 30th. Police say the 23-year-old student nurse was sitting in the back of a golf cart with her family when 3 members of a street gang, armed and ready, prepared to unleash carnage, spotted someone from a rival gang. 2 of the 3 who carried guns opened fire. The weapons of choice were prohibited firearms, assault rifles, according to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. They missed their target, but mortally wounded Bowens.
I'm not going to say the amount of rounds fired, but yes, an assault rifle was used. And from what we gathered is that the shooters came from along the beach and they had those dive bags that divers would normally use that have the dive equipment. And they walked into the park, and when they saw the person of interest, they put the bag down, opened it, took out the firearms, and opened fire towards him. We do hear of that from time to time. I do have the playadors who continue to walk the beach and look for drugs. And again, the rivalry between the 2 factions in San Pedro is over drugs.
Not long after the attack, police had a good idea who they believe had committed the crime. They detained Delson Paguada and his younger brother, Tion, who escaped custody during a bathroom break and posted a live Facebook video, during which he practically claimed that police on the island were harassing him and his brother ever since their father was killed due to gang violence 5 years ago. Tion and Delson are currently before the courts for previous charges of murder and attempted murder in San Pedro. Both were out on bail on December 30th, when Bowens was killed in the downtown area. In his live post, Tion made several serious allegations in which we can't air, but we bring you portions of his comments where he claims that he has been framed since the age of 15.
I was released on bail because of the grades I had and good behavior. Thanks to Mr. Dawson and the judge that they gave me an opportunity back here in society. Ever since I was out, I didn't got myself in any problem. It's been 3 years since I have been out, and still I'm constantly bothered by the police. The 30th of December, I was home along with my family. I was playing PUBG with my brother from 12 in the afternoon till 5 in the evening, where we decided to go work on our foot engine because we had to go diving in the morning. We reached home at 6. We stayed there all night. At 9 in the night, I received a call from my mother saying that someone was shot. The cops came looking for us. We're home. At the time we were sleeping, it was around 11:30 to 12 in the night. They searched the entire house looking for guns like we're any criminals. They said that someone are calling our name from some tourists that died. They handcuffed my brother and I together and took us in the vehicle, laughing and taunting us.
In Tion Paguada's live post, he made several libelous allegations against senior members of the San Pedro police formation over the years, and also against Commissioner Williams. They are allegations that we cannot air, but we did ask Williams to respond to those made particularly against him.
If it is that you have the time and energy to listen to the mischief of a person who escaped from police custody, as he said, and who the police had detained for gang membership, then you can do so. I certainly will not dignify his comments with a response. In terms of but I'll just say that the video recording has been sent to an attorney, and I am hoping that he will have the evidence to prove in court what he is asserting.
One of the issues that residents of San Pedro have raised is that the Jaguar Night Spot, which is located right across from the child-friendly Central Park, has of late created concerns among them because of the people who frequent the establishment. Residents feel that the business poses a security threat, especially to children who visit the park for recreational activities. Indeed, on the night of Bowens' killing, as Commissioner Williams alluded to earlier, the shooters approached from the area of the park, and their target was someone who was standing in front of the nightclub. Father Eduardo Montemer, the pastor in charge of the San Pedro Catholic Church, is one of several residents who actively began lobbying for a safer downtown area in the wake of the tragic shooting. Responding to the calls for a restoration of public safety was Commissioner Williams and Belize Rural South Area Representative Andrea Perez.
I've met with the different civic authorities and different groups, and we're demanding, and I think they've responded positively, that we're going to establish a permanent police presence here, because Central Park is like one of the few sort of family-friendly areas that we have in San Pedro. It's where the children are playing, families are, the tourists are here, the civic activities.
We have been in discussion and continue to do so, not because of this incident, but even the Commander Kowo would confirm to you that we have been in discussion about this issue, that we're aware of this specific establishment. We have even discussed that with the council, and including the deputy mayor had suggested that we set up a police booth or a police presence permanent at the park. So we had been on the works with that, and sadly this incident occurred. So what this does is that we are looking at this establishment. I cannot speak ahead as to what is going to be done. I am not allowed to, I cannot speak on my own. My opinion, yes, we have to deal with it. There is, of course, the liquor license, the trade license, the council, the police department, the fire department, the health department, all of these departments that need to make a state as whether this building is able to do that. Let's not forget also that another factor is that the Central Park is also a child-friendly park. So all of these factors have to be taken into consideration, and to be fair with the persons there who are investing.
Knowing that any person of interest or associate of person of interest are running nightclubs in particular, it will be of concern to us. And another feature to San Pedro is that we now establish a permanent police presence at the Central Park. So the mayor should provide a booth for the park for us either this week or early next week. But in the absence of the booth, we already have the police officers working there. BTB is donating 2 booths for San Pedro. We're going to put one north and one south of Hamburger's Key. That will help to minimize the police response time. Because if something were to happen 9 miles north of Hamburger's Key, it would take the police a minimum of 10 minutes to get there. 10 minutes is a lot of time. And so we need to do something that is going to minimize that to at least 5. Worldwide, the police response time should be maximum 5 minutes, and we want to make it that way.
The U.S. Embassy issued a short statement following Bowens' killing, in which it stated that it was closely monitoring the local authorities' investigation. Commissioner Williams told the media on Tuesday that he has been in direct communication with the family of Jabria Bowens, and they've expressed gratitude. He also said the U.S. Embassy officials have offered their support.
I can tell you I have been in direct communication with the regional security officer of the U.S. Embassy, as well as the director of INL from the embassy. And they have offered their support. I have kept them abreast of the investigation every step of the way, and they are satisfied with what the police have done so far. Certainly, if there is a need for us to request special assistance from them, with any respect of the investigation, we will do so. And may I also say that the family members of the victim have also expressed their gratitude to the country of Belize and the police department for our swift action that have led to the arrest of the perpetrator. So we're at least grateful and optimistic for that.
After the break, Shine asks what happened to the allegations against El Murna in the Farid Ahmad murder. We'll tell you about that. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to DigiNet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, our national telecom.
Ray, what's wrong? It's him. He hit me again. Oh my gosh. This time it was worse. He slammed my face in the wall and threatened to kill me. If you or someone you know is experiencing family violence, call 0800 A Way Out. Or you can text or WhatsApp to 672-9628.
The murder case involving former police officer Michelle Brown, who was accused of killing businessman and well-known Belize City barber Farid Ahmad, ended in December 2020 with an acquittal. During the trial, Brown testified under oath that Corporal Elmer Na was in fact the triggerman who executed Ahmad inside his vehicle. Notwithstanding the explosive revelation in open court, the allegation against Na was never pursued. According to leader of the opposition Shine Barrow, prosecutors failed the Ahmad family when nothing was done by the police department or the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to follow up the allegation.
December 9th, police officer Michelle Brown testified that Elmer Na came into the back of Farid Ahmad's vehicle and fatally shot him, and nothing was done. That is egregious. That is absolutely outrageous that such testimony would be offered and nothing would be done about it. Oh, it was fanciful thinking. Maybe if something was done then, the Ramnares brothers, Michael Williams, and heaven knows who else. There was a 79-year-old elderly man murdered in Belmopan, as well by someone wearing the headlight that Mr. Na is now infamously known for. When police officer Brown testified that it was Elmer Na that killed Farid Ahmad, something should have been done. The compulsors that, the DPP was disturbed about that. The DPP is Elmer Na's aunt by way of marriage. So I don't want to hear what you are saying. I want to see the actions that show me that you were disturbed. A corporal of police whom Mr. Farid Ahmad reported. He went to the station to report that he was being harassed by Mr. Vidal and whoever else the day before he was killed. So, regardless of whatever shortcomings may have happened under the previous administration, When Michelle Brown testifies, at risk of her life, I hear she's not even in the country now, she has sought asylum in another country. When she makes such explosive, damning testimony, how is it that the Compol and the Ministry of Police, we don't even see their CEO, but where are the steps being taken to address these matters?
Disgraced politician John Saldivar is getting ready to run for UDP standard-bearer in Belmopan, but he does not have the blessings of his party leader. In fact, Shine Barrow is calling on voters in the Garden City to choose any other candidate than Saldivar, who has been designated by the U.S. State Department as a significantly corrupt individual. Barrow told reporters today that a charge of willful suppression should also be brought against the former Minister of National Security for using public assets for personal gain while he was a sitting member of the previous government.
Endemic corruption is a bipartisan matter. And I would think, with the vigor that the Briceño administration went after Rennie Montero for essentially the same thing, using their ministerial powers to abuse assets under their control for personal gain. That is what I heard on the recording about the Mormons and Mr. Lev Derman. It's clear in the Constitution that you can't use your office for personal gain. And so if a willful suppression charge could be slapped on Mr. Montero, I don't see why it can't be applied to Mr. Saldivar. And if they are not prepared to do that, then they are not serious about fighting corruption, and they can have nothing to say to the opposition as we proceed. While I hope, I implore all eligible voters in Belmopan that can vote in the UDP convention for Belmopan to vote for anybody except Mr. Saldivar. Either one of the candidates would be better for Belmopan, better for the UDP, and better for the country.
According to Barrow, he should have done more to convince the National Party Council that John Saldivar was not suitable to run for any political office under the United Democratic Party.
Well, definitely there was a failure in my ability to get the MPC to see emphatically that Mr. Saldivar was not good for the party. I think he relied on sympathy, and he actually used the converse of what you're saying, that this is not me against the party leader. This is just me wanting the people in Belmopan to decide. This is just me wanting justice. I have nothing against the party leader. And there are colleagues that genuinely could not see the bigger picture, or refused to see the bigger picture as to how this impacted the party, and personalized it and made it, let the people in Belmopan decide. Again, I'm bounded by the decision of the MPC, so I have to be careful. I don't want to be like some of my other colleagues that will criticize the party, but I take full responsibility for not doing enough. I took for granted how obvious it was that Mr. Saldivar needed to go, no matter your personal relationship with him, no matter your sympathy for him.
When we return, a minor believed drowned in Roaring Creek. The search begins.
This sounds like it's that I'm really a promise and you're really fulfilled it, and I'm really happy and appreciate it. Thanks to Honorable Judas Alfredo, give me a real good job. You work day and night. Miss Mar, Thanks. I don't have words to express my gratitude, but thanks, Anthony, for everything.
Feeling great, man. If it feels so good, I can't explain. I never raise up rich, but at the same time, I will always tell me never give up on hold the faith.
We are pleased, very pleased today to be given the keys for 2 homes. This is the first. We go on the highway to cut the ribbon for the second one. And I'm sure as we move along, they will continue to deliver more keys to us. And so whatever we need to do to support the movement, to support the initiative, we will be patient, we will work with you guys, we will collaborate, we will talk, we will agitate if we have to a little bit. But we thank you very much for this beautiful home, well built.
This is a clear example that somebody from Belize City could not find a piece of land in the city, and the area rep made accommodations for the land to be located somewhere as close as possible. In January, we will be inaugurating 50 homes in the Boom area. And the Pickstock Division has a location for 5 more of their really needy residents. We are building affordable starter homes that makes the world of a difference for a person when you get that key.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Let's celebrate Christmas together with Smart's amazing season deals. Check out our showrooms and get deals for as low as $99 and get free credit, SMS, and data. If you already have a phone, you can join the Smart family. Swap your SIM and get a free SIM plus $100 promo credit. Get 50% off your first and second month when you sign up for selected postpaid plans. That's a promotion you don't want to miss. Free no done with Smart. Get free installation and 1 month free when switching from another internet provider. Plus, with every SIM swap, device purchase, broadband or postpaid sign up, you automatically get entered into our raffle for a chance to win a Samsung S22, a year free smart broadband, or $500 cash. Make it one Christmas together, only with Smart. Smart management and staff, thank you tremendously for all the love you shared during the year. We look forward to serving you as you power your dollar in 2023.
Up until news time, police, residents, and Coast Guard personnel are in Roaring Creek Village searching for the body of a minor who reportedly went underwater at the nearby creek and did not resurface. News 5 has confirmed that 8-year-old Luke Hansen went missing while swimming with his brother and friends at the creek near the Hammock Bridge in the village. The incident occurred just before 3 p.m. today, and immediately residents from the area came out with canoes and began diving in the creek in search of Hansen. This next story is for commuters who use the Philip Gosen Highway, specifically the Haulover Bridge, to enter and exit the city. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing has issued a public notice that, effective January 9th, there will be vehicular load restrictions for the Haulover Bridge, that vehicles over 22,000 pounds in weight will no longer be allowed to cross the Haulover Bridge. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
For some time now, we have been reporting on the deteriorating conditions of several bridges within Belize City, including the Haulover Bridge. In the last 30 days, there have been reports of the bridge breaking away at different points. And so, out of an abundance of caution, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing is putting in place vehicular load restrictions.
Over the last 30 days, we have experienced 3 different failures on the existing Haulover Bridge itself. And that has raised some concern for me, which I have shared with the ministry. And so we have made a decision in an effort to be on the safety side in an abundance of caution for us to restrict loads that are traversing over the existing Haulover Bridge. We're trying to see if we could implement that vehicles having a gross weight of maximum 22,000 pounds would be allowed to cross over the structure. Typically, a vehicle would be approximately 9 tons per axle. And so if we're looking at a triple axle vehicle, that would be 27,000 pounds. We have reduced that approximately by 20%. The idea is that the vehicles that we're having problems with are those that have in excess of 3 axles, the dump trucks, the beverage trucks, and the other articulated vehicles. Those are the ones that are creating the stress to the bridge deck itself.
Beginning on January 9th, with the assistance of the Department of Transport, transport officers will be on site to divert traffic. This will be done for exactly 1 week. Thereafter, violators will be ticketed.
I've discussed with the Chief Transport Officer for us to have a checkpoint at the airport junction and also one at Chetomal Street so that we could divert traffic commencing next week, Monday the 9th, so that they don't reach all the way to the Haulover Bridge and have to turn back.
There are some exceptions being made. Engineering coordinator for the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, Evandale Moody, explains.
We are open to having passenger cars, pickup trucks, vans, smaller, lighter weight vehicles to pass through. And the exception we have is the passenger buses, because we know that we have a lot of commuters from the north, from the Orange Rock and Corozal district, from right within Lords Bank and Ladyville, that traverses to Belize City every day. And we don't want to create a problem for passengers. And so we are going to allow buses to pass through and to traverse and exit the Belize City area.
It's been 13 months since the new bridge has been under construction. It's on schedule, with the completion date set for sometime around the end of this year, replacing the existing 75-year-old bridge. So those heavier trucks will for the next 11 months divert through the John Smith Road.
13 months have now elapsed out of the 24 months. And so we have approximately 11 more months to go in respect to that structure. We believe that we should complete that structure by November, December this year, at least substantially completed, that we could have vehicles start to use that new structure. There may be some minor stuff that would be outstanding, like road furnitures and so, which we could do during that time, but we expect to have the new structure up and running by the end of this year.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
It took effect on January 1st and will see those working particularly labor-intensive jobs benefit. Increasing the minimum wage from $3.30 to $5 an hour was among the many manifesto promises of the Briceño administration. And although there has been concern about its implications from the private sector, there were several rounds of consultations ahead of its implementation. Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Christopher Koyi, appeared on Open Your Eyes morning show today and shared his view on the minimum wage adjustment during a period of inflation.
There was a minimum wage task force, of which the Chamber was a member of that task force, and they made their recommendations. I think the Ministry of Labor also had engaged a consultant to assist in what process would be undertaken to implement the minimum wage adjustment. It was a Plan Belize manifesto commitment. Yep. Just how it would be implemented was not spoken of in the manifesto. So that type of engagement was taken on and consultation taken on. But ultimately, the Ministry of Labor made its recommendation and Cabinet made its decision. There are economic views with respect to the extent and the approach taken, and we can have certainly discussions on that all day long. You might be surprised where my position is on it, but certainly that decision has been taken. The reality is, on a fiscal, from a fiscal standpoint, it is what you would call an inflationary action in a time of high inflation. So the jury is out as to what will be the impact of the implementation of that adjustment. And that's, I think, what the chamber has spoken to their representatives and said we have to wait and see what will be the impact. But yes, that is timing-wise a concern as far as its implementation and the dramatic implementation.
While it is a waiting game for now, did the analyses done prior to implementation make reference to potential impacts?
There will always be an adjustment, just in terms of an open market. The market adjusts. Whether that may mean a slowdown in employment or even a reversal in the employment process, that those are possibilities. If you just look at demand and supply, what is the impact of an increase in price? That will tell you on a basic level what would be a possible impact. So you just have to look at that and have an idea of what some of the impacts can be.
Up next, a peace walk and prayer vigil to be hosted in Belmopan.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Hola, usuario de eCash. La aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Belmopan Mayor Sharon Palacio is partnering with Pastor Richard Smith to host a peace rally and prayer village in Belmopan on Thursday evening. Both events are being hosted in light of the recent murders in the capital city. We spoke with Mayor Palacio and Pastor Smith via Zoom today about the planned event.
This occurrence calls for even more unity and to come together as a community and show exactly how we're feeling. So there's what we call a peace walk that will be connected to a rally, a prayer rally. The peace walk begins in the Belmopan area, and it will depart from the Sir Andy Johnson field, where we will have candles and messages and so on. And we will depart from there en route to the Sir George Brown field, where I will hand over, because I'll be in the parades, the Belmopan City Council, and all the persons participating, and we'll hand over the group that walked from Sir Andy Johnson to Sir George. We're going to hand over to Pastor Smith, so you can take over.
Yeah, basically what we are looking at, Paul, is having a joint worship and prayer ministry time. When something like this happens, everybody's shocked. Some people have nightmare just watching that video. And so they need to be ministered to, pray. We're asking all the pastors to come out, to be there. We'll set them on the sideline. People can go to them while the worship rally is going on, to be pray for and minister to them in the needs that they are. We are looking at tomorrow night as a time to rebuild that confidence among our people, because unless the Lord watch over the house, the watchman watch in vain. So we need to reinstate that core values that we once have, and to say 2023, that's how we're going to take off.
Amidst all the bloodshed that has dominated the news over the past few days, there's a little bit of good news to share tonight. In Belmopan, the City Council has started a new initiative to help feed its most disadvantaged families healthy food at a nominal cost. The food bank, as Mayor Sharon Palacio calls it, involves donation from business people. The Belmopan City Council, which will act as the distribution point, will receive and package the perishable items in 5-pound bags. Mayor Palacio told News 5 that for the Christmas holidays, they decided to distribute the food items free of cost to more than 80 families in that municipality.
And I must give a lot of thanks to my daughter, Ms. Furtado, who, from the time she returned from Canada, she kept on saying, "Mommy, you need to have a food bank, Ma," because she would see whereby people constantly come to our house and asking for support. I reached out to the private sector, some real supportive businessmen right here in the city of Belmopan, and they've been so kind. And we've already agreed that monthly I'll be getting support, but there's a catch. The people, the beneficiaries, they won't be receiving these wonderful these foods for free. Oh. Twice a month, they will come into the office, they'll pay a $20 billets, and that $20 billets will give them access to rice, flour, everything you see down there, beans, oil, baking powder, and we will be working with them for them to not depend on food bank for the rest of their life.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.